Hey folks, it's Ardwulf. Welcome. We are going to do an unboxing of this guy, Roads to Moscow, Battles of Mozhaisk and Mtsensk, 1941, Operation Barbarossa, Army Group Center, by Advanced Bonboris. This is from GMT. It's another 2-pack. I mentioned I had a couple of these on the way. I think this is the last one I have on the way. I'm not sure if this is two completely discrete games, like you see with When Eagles Fight, which is what's set up in the background here, and Glory's End. Or if it's just two games, one game with two different maps and sets of scenarios based on that. So let's open her up. This is in the GMT 1/2-inch box, which means I'm going to have to think carefully about how I'm going to store this thing. And I'm going to generally be a little more gingerly with this unboxing than I normally am because I don't want to disturb When Eagles Fight that's going on right now. I'm in the middle of turn 2 with that game. So here we have When Eagles Fight. Let's open her up and take a look. Now this also, I believe, has 5/8-inch counters. So we have the packing slip from GMT. Cha packed this. Thank you, Cha. We have one rule book. At 36 pages, it is black and white, but on quite thick stock, which I like. Looks like this is mostly rules. Is there a playbook too? I guess we'll find out in a second. Expanded sequence, much more detailed sequence of play too than we get in the World War I dual pack. So rulebook. We have some player aid cards. Actually, quite a lot of player aid cards. So scenarios 3 and 4. These look like turn record track. We have a victory point schedule here. Let me also apologize for the not so awesome lighting on this. That's another thing that we're going to try and get fixed in the near future. We do have assault combat and mobile combat, which is sort of reminiscent to the East Front series as well. Although this isn't a member of that series and is in fact on a different scale. Looks like setup cards. I like setup cards. Setup cards are good. Scenario 1, Drive on Mtsensk, and Scenario 2, Battle of Mtsensk. So there's multiple scenarios even for the individual battles. And okay, so the rear cards are the Mozhaisk. Yeah, okay, so it looks like 4 scenarios. Setup cards for those. These are on pretty nice cardstock. We have some counter sheets. As anticipated, these are 5/8-inch counters. We have 3 counter sheets. So we've got Germans, more Germans, some what looks like Waffen-SS, some markers down here for low fuel, looks like Luftwaffe and air, and some planes. We have some Soviet stuff. The background colors of the NATO symbols are in this case indicative of what unit. This is a chit pull game. So the 3rd counter sheet looks like all markers, except for a few Soviet stragglers up here. So I am not going to be able to set up the map for you on this particular video, but maybe we'll. We do have a playbook. Let's look at the playbook first. And we have a 10-sided die and yet another wad of GMT baggies that will go in the pile. This is the playbook. This is 32 pages on the same thick stock. Got an expanded sequence of play and some counter scans. And looks like we have a playthrough here. And quite an extensive playthrough at that. Trying to find the beginning of it. Extended example of play, which is actually a huge chunk of this playbook. This is pages 13 through looks like 26. So 13 pages of playthrough, and then the rest of it is scenarios. As anticipated, there are 4 scenarios. 2 for Mtsensk and 2 for Mozhaisk. So that looks good. And this is something I didn't think to look at for When Eagles Fight, is the size of the counter versus the size of the hex. So I'll just take in a When Eagles Fight counter here from the dead pile. The counters are pretty big for the size of hexes that we have here, and I'm imagining that the hex sizes are the same on both sides of the map. This is going to be another 2-sided map, which again, I'm sorry I can't break it out for you completely, but unless you're familiar with the terrain here, I'm not sure it would be terribly meaningful anyway. but in this case we have, here's Mtsensk. Nice looking, as usual, nice looking maps. I wonder who did the maps here. Looks like Kasiminich maps. I tend to think his maps are always nice. I haven't seen a bad one from him. So I just jostled my reinforcements here. Fortunately, I know where they were. So, roads to Moscow, let's put it all away. Looks pretty good. Looks like, actually, a cousin of the East Front series, which is something else I have been looking at and pondering. Another cousin of the East Front series is the game Invasion Sicily, which came out from GMT and Von Boris some time ago. That is a one-map game on the Invasion of Sicily, of course, and I think we will... I'm shooting to get a playthrough video of that going, but I've been wanting to do that for a long time. We do have a little bit of box sting here. This looks like it was a warehouse thing rather than something that happened in shipping, though, because the box itself was in perfect condition. Something weird, though, I'll mention in closing. This showed up at about 4 p.m. on a Sunday, allegedly through the U.S. Postal Service. So I'm not entirely sure what's up with that, but thanks, Amazon, for sending this with somebody that would deliver at 3 p.m. on a Sunday. So, roads to Moscow. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. Check out the rest of the videos on the channel. I am making a big push right now to get more board wargaming stuff up. I hope that you are enjoying that, so please check those out. Subscribe if you want to keep up with what's going on. Thanks for watching.